Welcome to The Advocate, a program that thrashes out all the topical issues of the day.
When you are in government, you don't see nothing wrong with whatever is happening. The moment you are out there, everything is wrong.
You can't even see many women now, and when they're there, they're not even really making a mark, and then they have an NYSC problem and this and that.
One of the reasons why we don't have more women in politics in Nigeria is for as long as political meetings continue to take place in the middle of the night.
Exactly.
Really disastrous for a president
to even say
to be unaware of the chief
It's
justice.
a ploy. It could be a strategy.
That strategy was
very
terrible strategy. Because the buck stops at your table.
Whether it's that we don't look after our cities, and quite frankly, Nigeria is becoming a very ugly place.
When you are the only one feeding the people with this news, and there is nobody countering them, it becomes, the news.
Welcome to The Advocate, where we trash out topical issues to keep you informed and stirred up for true change. Still in election season, it should come as no surprise that our topics are still suffering election hangover. I'll be kicking things off by saying that it's high time we put our systems to the test. Liberals is in a generous mood with another goodie bag on holding the banks liable for failed ATM transactions. I'll be ready with my pen and paper. Ekene, in typical responsible fashion, is lamenting the non-legacy we are leaving for our children. How unconcerned are we? Not one to beat about the bush. Uche says it like it is. Political correctness is the enemy of free speech. Take it or leave it. Also not one to shy away from confronting the thorny issues. Ireti takes on the elephant in the room by tackling unresolved tribal animosity in our midst. So, already you have a feel for today's broadcast. Certainly not for the faint-hearted. Promises to be a courageous one. Bring it on, I say. What say you? Nigerians are the most ridiculous of people when it comes to facing up to alleged or supposed subversion of procedure. It is not surprising to see many ask that Atiku Abubakar submit to the will of God and congratulate Buhari on his declaration as winner of the just concluded presidential elections. Assuming there is very good reason for Atiku to feel he might have been the winner, is it not good for Nigeria that he complains? Is it not good that INEC is subject to scrutiny, that the courts and tribunals are tested? How else would we know that they are up to the task, that they are not partial to any persons or political parties? We must never recoil from demanding our rights. It is the way to test the institutions that have been created to allow for this. What do we mean by leave it for God? Rubbish. I do not know the merits of the PDP case or the expected legal costs, and frankly, that's not my business at this time. But what is mine and the business of all Nigerians is that our systems are up to date, and no better way than to put them to the test.
Absolutely.
So,
yeah. Right on.
Let's put them to the test.
For this. No, we should. I mean, I've been so, perplexed, really, by the number of groups, the number of people, including my dear friend, Liboras, saying, do not go to court. Why not? Why shouldn't we go to court? Why shouldn't he go to court?
Thank God you know I'm one of those.
Because it doesn't make sense, I mean, a wrong has been done to the Nigerian people and to a party. Exactly. And, rather than, say, go and challenge this. Because it's actually for our own good. But, oh, no. Everybody's like, oh, no, move on. Let's move on.
Exactly.
Forget about it. Move on. Forget about what, exactly? Right now, I have no faith in our electoral process. I'm not even interested. It's like I'm taking a lot to go and vote again this Saturday. Wow. I'm just hoping. I said, let me just finish what I started. But really, he better go to court. And I thank God yesterday I read that he had gone to court and actually won the first round, which is they should release all electoral material. So yeah, I mean, now I've said all I want to say.
Liberals had objected on money on grounds of even cost, hadn't he?
It was his business. Is he the one paying?
No, I want to hear Liberals. The legal mind amongst us.
If you look at our elections and electoral reformation or transformation, from 1979 till date, the court had never transformed our electoral processes, presidential electoral processes.
That's where I was going. Absolutely, they haven't.
Yes. In 2003, we advised President Buhari, then, in AMPP, not to go to court also. I was one of those that said, don't go. I had to say, no, the man had been wrong, let him go, But at the end of the day, the court will look at, our courts are programmed in a way that they very, permit me to use the word, very dogmatic in their approach to this, interpreting the provisions of the law. And so, over time, if you take a look at all of the court decisions, rather than make it very easy for petitioners to nullify presidential election, they've made it even more difficult, more cumbersome. And so, even in 2007, we also did advise and admonish, don't bother. Let's look at the electoral process and find a way of fine-tuning it to make it, to bring it up to date with modern standards. They still went to court. And that was the only time the court even attempted 3 to 4 judges, 4 judges against 3, where the Supreme Court said, well, we noticed that there were some irregularities, but it was not substantial enough to nullify the outcome.
Let me come in there.
Wait,
because
quickly, let me finish.
If I understand what you're saying.
So at the end of the day, the only time the election became transparent was when the people remembered, when the people, removed their eyes from the court and, we all focused on INEC. And that was when Jega came and said, you know what? Even the register we have is not good enough to be called a register. And so let's even innovate a process that will enhance transparency, and they introduce card reader. So with what Atiku had, observed, or the PDP had observed in the process, I think it is high time we collate them. Against the backdrop that the INEC chairman said there are issues to be discussed around INEC. The court won't discuss them. The court will look at procedures.
Absolutely.
If we look at all of these issues, we now need to sit down and focus on INEC. How do we ensure that this does not repeat itself? But now you have gone to court. The court has said you can inspect, starting from the recent ex parte order, you can inspect, but you can't inspect using forensic and investigation. So how do you expect in modern day, and yet you can't do it forensically?
Sorry, let me just say that, because from what you're saying, if I understand you rightly, you're saying the horse has bolted in terms of the courts intervening.
Yes.
However, if I follow CHUKA's argument, he's still saying that the process of going to court to reveal the court's deficiencies is part of putting the system to the test. Yeah. The court is a system. It's lacking. So let's expose its issues so that the court themselves can also reform. We can't just keep keeping them there as an artifact. Let me also make the point. Let me just use myself as an illustration. Yesterday I was driving behind some guy in a bus that said, if you don't like my driving, call this number. And the guy had the nerve to drive from an additional lane, which I'm really very annoyed about, and come in front and force his way in. I said, of course. I picked up my phone
and called the number was there.
Now, I don't even know what will come of that, but I've done what I can to put that system to the test. The lady said, okay, I'll speak to him.
That is different from...
I've done what I can.
Totally different.
You have to apply the system in place, no matter how deficient it is.
The issues in court are, this election, I won, but this other man was declared winner. So declare me winner. Okay. And so the court will look at the processes of the election. And then you see another problem that we are glossing over. When APC were in opposition, it was, in the front burner because they were clamoring for it, that the onus of proving that elections are regular should not be placed on the petitioner who participated. Rather, it should be on the man who conducted the election.
Absolutely.
But INEC, we have left that. That is why election will continue to be like this. The court won't be able to do anything. Once INEC announces the results, the presumption is that everything is okay, everything was proper. It is you that is contesting the outcome now that will come and begin to prove in an election that you were participants. That is why now you first...
So reforming. You agree now?
Well, no, I'm so with Laboros on this. In fact, we can't even begin to... So, for me, first and foremost, when you start talking about court in an election situation, you're being an individualist. When you accept the result, I think you're being a nationalist. Yeah. That's number one. You're thinking of the country first. And I'll give you an example.
Are you sure that's what you're saying?
Allow me. That is part of what you're saying. Allow me. First of all, think Al Gore, Hillary Clinton, both of them could have chosen to actually contest the results. In fact, Hillary Clinton more so now than Al Gore, because one thing that's been agreed is that the Russians interfered, although they're still... Allow me to finish, your uncle, I know.
But it's not true now.
I know. In fact, one thing that all the security services in America have agreed was that there was interference. They're not saying it would have changed the results, but on that basis alone, she had the right. Yes, she could have actually contested. So they both, Al Gore did make a statement, and he said, look, I didn't contest, not because I can't, but because I'm putting the colossal...
The country's interest first.
The colossal change or whatever, I've forgotten the words used, that would apply to the country if you do that. Now, Atiku, he's been to court himself before. Buhari, as you said, court, lost. Like Libora said, not once has any legal wrangling in court process changed our electoral process.
But it may stir us up.
That's why we have to keep going.
As a people.
But that doesn't mean we should not test it. But it's been tested.
I'll tell you.
I think you're saying it's been tested several times.
Okay. Yes.
And it's not done.
Because, I'm sorry, let me even just say, I feel that you're maybe underestimating the effect of someone actually coming and saying this isn't fair on people like Uche and I. On Uche and I, because people like Uche and I, because I'm now...
But
wait, let me even make the point. On our morale. Because the way the elections were run, I'm so demoralized.
Yes.
I just need to hear someone vexing over it. No, I want someone to go to court, even if they can't get anything from it, to show that they're passionate enough about the injustice to go to court. Go to court. Okay. Because they're representing me. I'm aggrieved by the process.
Well, I'm afraid we have to... they say the best things in life are free. Time to settle down for some freebies from our very own resident legal specialist.
Welcome to The Advocate, a program that thrashes out all the topical issues of the day.
When you are in government, you don't see nothing wrong with whatever is happening. The moment you are out there, everything is wrong.
You can't even see many women now, and when they're there, they're not even really making a mark, and then they have an NYSC problem and this and that.
One of the reasons why we don't have more women in politics in Nigeria is for as long as political meetings continue to take place in the middle of the night.
Exactly.
Really disastrous for a president
to even say
to be unaware of the chief
It's
justice.
a ploy.
It could be a strategy.
That strategy was
Backfired.
terrible strategy. Because the buck stops at your table.
Whether it's that we don't look after our cities, and quite frankly, Nigeria is becoming a very ugly place.
When you are the only one feeding the people with this news, and there is nobody countering them, it becomes, the news.